doing? So, I'm doing the Yu Yu Hakusho Dating Sim demo by Lola1B. This is the same person that made the Kurama Dating Simulator demos that I did. I did 2 videos on that one. And this one just has intros with Hiei, Kurama, and Kuwabara, and I believe you get a full date with Yusuke this time around. And I attempted to actually play this, and my computer decided to punk me because it didn't record any of it. And so I discovered that I had been sitting there for like 30 plus minutes talking to nothing. And nothing makes you feel stupider than that when you realize you've just been talking and accomplishing nothing. So I'm going to start a new file. See, I actually do have a save file in here, but I'm actually going to just start a brand new one. Your default name is Reiko. Type a new name now if you'd like to change that. No, I'm good with it. I've always been sensitive to strange things, ghosts, monsters, and even weather changes. I remembered when a boy in my middle school died, only to come back later. The official story was that he was in a coma and come out of it. I knew better. Yusuke Urameshi came back from the dead and became what was known as a spirit detective. Until at least he turned into a demon. At that point, Spirit World, which is real I found out, had to fire him. And I was lucky enough, emphasis on the luck there, to just die when Kurama thought of hiring another human to play the role. Officially, that is, you are a spirit detective, but if anything happens that you can't handle, or honestly anything happens at all that is concerning, you should talk to Yusuke and his friends. As a demon, he can't work on behalf of Spirit World, but he still defends humanity from danger. Treat him and his friends as valuable allies. In fact, it would be good if you could get to know them better. Spend some time with them during this time of relative peace and build a bond. Good luck, spirit detective! Yeah, I'd better be recording. I'm freaking paranoid now. So that was my first ask as protector of humankind. Make friends. More of a loner though. It's morning. First morning as spirit detective. No cases yet, but I do have that task of meeting the previous team. Well, one good thing about this is Lord Kurama said this gig is paid, which apparently wasn't the case last time. This Yusuke guy really did all of this work for free. Must have been some selfless guy. Aha. Anyway, this means I don't have to work. I suppose I should try to meet those guys now. I love this. All the artwork is drawn by one person. She's doing this all by herself. Lord Kurama told you they're all in the city, but didn't tell you where to find them exactly. You do have their files, though, and read through them quickly. With your newly awakened spiritual energy, it shouldn't be too difficult to find them. Likely you'll sense them and bump into them the moment they're nearby, if they're so strong and special. You have options then. Where would you go first? You are home. What's your plan? Let's go get food first, because that's what it says to do. It's gonna be Yusuke. You walk up to one of the many food stalls that line the city streets. There's a nice big ramen stand that you haven't seen too much of before. A young man, handsome in that punk with a heart of gold sort of way, was cooking ramen for a couple who were practically salivating on the counter. The scent of ramen was thick, and you could see the bright, thick noodles as they were slipped into bowls, then topped with slices of meat and veggies. That does sound good. The aroma was overpowering, but that was not all of it. There was another sensation you had here, one that you couldn't place. It wasn't a scent, it wasn't a vibration, it wasn't a premonition, but it was all three at once. There was something supernatural here. Yes, sit down. You decide to sit down. The couple practically inhales their meal, and the cook is turned away from you, presenting his white t-shirt clad back as he shuffles around in his cart. The girl from the couple nearly moans as she slurps a noodle up, and you can't help but look. Good lord, girl! Is it that good? First time here? It's so good. Urameshi makes the best Okinawa soba. The girl says before turning back to her bowl. The guy she's with was already almost done and was tipping the bowl now up to his face to drink the broth. The name Urameshi takes a moment to settle in your mind, but when it does, you snap your eyes back to the man behind the counter. He's staring at you with a confident, lazy grin, like he owned the place and the praise was not just deserved, but expected. I make the best kurumi ramen and onomichi, and let's let him... See, the last time I was nice when I went through this, so I want to be nice to Yusuke, at least, so I can get a positive interaction. Let him keep talking. He leans on the counter. What will it be then? His eyes seemed to sparkle as if he knew something. That feeling of otherworldliness was strong and became stronger as he stared at you. He's got a cigarette in his mouth, I love that. You're Yusuke Urameshi, a man named Kurama told me to meet you. He blinked in surprise and laughed as he pushed away from the counter. How about you order first, huh? You give him your order, something hastily picked from the laminated menu sitting on the side of the counter. The couple just finished their meal and paid, saying warm goodbyes to the man. He didn't bother to count the money, merely slipped it into his pocket. He gave you a smile, then turned to prepare your food. Ask about Kuwabara. With the couple gone, perhaps it was a good time to ask about Kuwabara again. Lord Kuwabara told me to find you. Yeah? What do you want? The man turned back to you. The food simmered behind him, smelling amazingly, but you couldn't linger on that when he was leaning so close. His gaze was way too intense. He said I should meet you. You already know. You're the new spirit detective. Of course I know. You probably know my name too, so let's get down to what the big baby boss really wants from me. You turned back to the stove and started assembling your bowl. He said you could be a valuable ally. Well, considering this place would be fucked over dead at least 3 times if I hadn't put my ass on the line, I'm not surprised. He probably wants me to babysit you. Such language, Yusuke. He shrugged. I don't mind. Not everyone can be as badass as me, though I warn you I'm not the spirit detective anymore, so my consultations are billed by the hour. It's your duty to help. Oh, I don't plan on needing a babysitter. Good. He set your bowl down and you started on your meal slowly. It was really good. Anyway, he wants me to help you out if you're in way over your head, right? You nod. The ramen is good and you begin to slurp it up like you haven't eaten in days. No worries. I'm here if you need the support, but don't come running to me for every fight, you know. I got a life after all. Only because Kuwabara gave it back to you, like me. You can't help but feel a certain connection to Yusuke. Your situations are so similar. Yeah, you'll both love and hate the guy for that. Oh, I guess I never fully introduced myself. Yusuke Urameshi. You only knew his name from the files Kuwabara gave you. You introduced yourself back. Well, Reiko, it's good to meet my replacement. Oh, before you go, how's the ramen? He beams at you, leaning on the counter and watching you with eagerness. It tasted different, but good different. He leaned closer to you, so close you could feel his breath, cigarettes, and the faint scent of miso soup. I'll tell you a secret, spirit detective. This ramen's not your typical meal, and it's not just because it's made by the best damn cook in the entire city. What did you put in it? Relax, nothing crazy in there. I checked with a bunch of people first, too, to make sure it's safe for human consumption. But some spices, if you will, sometimes make their way into my recipes. He grinned wide. Adds a kick to it. I did think the ramen tasted different. He waved his hand dismissively. I only put it in for those who request an extra level of experience from my ramen. Weak little things get the regular spice packet from the convenience store, same as every other stand. So I am not a weak little thing? Yusuke grinned. So Kuwabara's got a cool new spirit detective. Seems nicer than me. Definitely prettier than me, though we'll see if you get stronger than me, too. You met Yusuke Urameshi, a rather friendly, if not irresponsible, former spirit detective. He seems to work at this ramen stand often, so you can come back here any time to find him. Where to now? Okay, you can come back and meet Yusuke. Yusuke has like a full demo. I'm going to go ahead and go to the park. This is Kurama. We're going to meet Kurama. You enter the park. It's spring, and the flowers are around, are in full bloom. There's so many, though, more than you think is probable for a city park. There are roses of different shades of reds and pinks, and white ones, too. They're thick bushes outlining a curved path that meanders around the center fountain. There's lilies, too, an orchid so bright and big that you swear in your thoughts this is some sort of botanical garden. It's a shame you haven't been here before. There are quite a few people, families with children and couples on picnic dates, dotted about the garden, but there are also some nice quiet crooks in the bends of the roads with small wooden benches. On one of them, a little further into the garden, sits a young man. You feel a little drawn to him before you even notice what he looks like on account of a strange sensation. In fact, the whole garden seems to be filled with a strange feeling of eeriness and otherness, and it seems to be originating from the man. He has long red hair, so vibrant that you are sure it could not be natural, and is reading a book, smiling down at it with a serene expression on his face. Stay away. Approach him politely. I don't know if this is interesting, me just reading all of the text. You decide to approach him. There's space on the bench to sit next to him. He's very cute. He notices you the moment you approach him with a soft smile, moves a little to make room for you on the bench. As you sit beside him, you can sense that strange, eerie feeling rise. It's not unpleasant, though. It almost has a pleasant scent. Though his eyes are still in the book, it is clear to you he's paying attention to you. His shoulders are a little tense, and his eyes don't seem as focused on the book as they should. I'm going to comment on the eerie feeling. It's rather eerie here, isn't it? The man does not look up from his book, but his face twitches into a slight smile. Is it eerie? I find it the perfect spot to read some poetry. You pretend to peek over the book, but you're really trying to get a closer look. Is he one of the guys you're supposed to find? He notices you staring. You should introduce yourself. My name is Reiko. Pleased to meet you. Ah, pleasure. I'm Shuichi. He doesn't seem to plan on saying more. Ask him what he's reading. What poem are you reading, if I may ask? You look at the cover of the book. Wait, Walt Whitman? The American poet? The man smiles wider. His eyes are still on the book as he speaks. He is quite an interesting character. American poet who was once intoxicated by nature and by human touch. I feel a certain draw to his work. Think back to what you read in his files. Because you control plants? Ah. He turned his full attention to you, his eyes green and sparkling with some mischief. Then we both know this meeting is not mere chance. I assume you know who I am. You nod. Lord Kurama had given you all the boys' names, shown brief photos, and given a file summarizing their work for Spirit World. You knew Kurama lived in the human world and he was gifted with the power over nature. Yes, I was told to introduce myself to you. He used his human name when he introduced himself earlier. You knew he went by another. You're Yoko Kurama. Yes. His tone was a little short. Though I go by Kurama now and Shuichi in my human life. His eyes darted around the park. Tell me then, Reiko, what is the purpose of this meeting? He closed his book and sat aside on the bench to give you his full attention. I would have been available for a more planned meeting if I had been asked. Lord Kurama didn't plan anything, just told me to meet you guys. He laughed. Seems he has not changed. Allow you to give you my phone number. I knew that Lord Kurama will likely wish that I and Yusuke, along with Kuwabara, help you should you run into any issues you cannot solve on your own. A fledgling spirit detective needs support. I helped Yusuke when he started off too. So a demon is going to be helping me? A demon fighting other demons? His lips formed a thin line. Spirit detective, you will find all sorts of people who are willing to fight and die for this realm, even if it is not their place of origin. This is my home, and I will help defend it. He proceeded to rip a page out of his book and scribbled his phone number on it before handing it to you. For that brief moment, your fingers touched. I will be glad to see what becomes of you, Spirit Detective. His parting words held some importance in them that went over your head. It was clear this man was wise beyond what his human age would suggest. There was also a sense of finality to his words, so you stood and said your goodbyes to him. Start to head back home. Having met Kurama, the supposedly famous demon bandit, you feel a little better about your job. A man who was once a demon criminal should be a useful ally, right? See, I pissed him off. I decided to go a little bit rough this time because I was like really, really nice the last time. So I have decided I'm going to go ahead and visit the forest to be a little bit mean to the others because there's really no point. Even if you can only go back like one other time to them, I think. And if you try to go back a third time, the game malfunctions and shuts down. It's rather beautiful here, but there's also something else, something that draws you in. There's a small hiking trail, and you follow it, passing only 2 people walking their dogs before you reach a calm, quiet spot. From among the canopy of trees, you feel a pair of eyes watching you. Look around. You try to locate the eyes, and after some time, you decide it's best to trust your senses instead. So you close your eyes and listen and wait and feel about until you can sense the presence high above you. Once you locate it, you open your eyes to look straight at the person hiding above. His eyes are bright red and he's wearing all black, leaning casually against a tree. This must be one of the demons Lord Kurama spoke about that helped the former spirit detective. He's staring back at you. Call out to him. You're Hiei, aren't you? He doesn't respond at first, staring at you the whole while as you wait, then he appears to sigh. I no longer help the spirit detective. Tell that to your boss. His tone is annoyed, dismissive. Then why are you here? You don't have to help and have free passage to the demon world. I read your file. You don't like human world. Why stay? He grimaces. I go where I please. Now leave me, human. He doesn't seem keen on talking. You seem to not be in a mood to talk, so you give him a curt nod and proceed to introduce yourself. My name is Reiko, and I'm the new spirit detective. I was told to make your acquaintance, and I have, so I will leave you now. He watches you, his expression seems to soften. Though from being so far in the trees, it is hard to tell if it is simply the shifting shadows that appear to soften the grimacing lines on his face. Wind rustles the branches above you, the canopy of trees, shifting the shadows, falling over your face, pollen and leaves falling against you, making you close your eyes. When you open them again, he's gone. There's more to him. I should ask the others about him. I hope I won't need that jerk's help. You're home. What's your plan? Walk around the streets. Now, like I said, I'm only going to do these boys just once, and then I'll go back to Yusuke. You walk through the streets among the little shops and the tall buildings into which they are nestled. This is cute. I love this. Teenagers pass by in their uniforms, laughing, drinking sodas, letting you know it's starting to get late. You pass by an alleyway and pause. It's dark inside, shadows darkening the passage and making it feel eerie. Your powers are still weak, new, and you've got a lot to learn, but you sense something is down there. Investigate. It may be nothing, and it may be something you'll need to check out eventually, so might as well do it now. Steeling yourself, you step into the shadows of the alleyway. Past the overflowing garbage container and the sad sight of a homeless camp built out of discarded boxes, you come to the sensation of life you picked up from earlier. It's a cat. It's a small yellow tabby, a kitten, and the poor thing is missing an eye. It may have diseases. I shouldn't touch it. You may catch something from the street animals. You already died once. You don't want to add rabies to your next possible death list. You leave and return to the streets. Oh. I did the wrong thing. Okay, let's go back. Investigate. Inspect it. You kneel down the dirt to look at it, raises his little head to return your attention, his one cute little eye shining red. Ah, there he is! Turn your head to see a tall, strangely ginger man with a pompadour standing in the alleyway. He grins at you and waves his hand in a greeting. I was looking for that kitty. He's a fast one. You shuffle to the side to make space as the man comes closer and kneels down beside you. He reaches out to pet the cat. Some kids were beating on him. I chased them off but lost sight of where the poor fellow went. The man's expression hardened, his jaw setting tight. Can't stand when people prey on the innocent. That's horrible. What will happen to the kitten now? I'm going to choose this one. It's just a cat. What about the homeless people living in this alley? He frowns down at you, scrunching up his face. Hey, a human can defend himself even if he's down on his luck. A little kitten can't. It's not the same. I already have 3 at home. I guess I'll take him to a vet and then to a shelter. That's a good idea. That's a good idea. At least the kitty will have a safe place to be. The man smiles down at you and nods. Yeah, oh, by the way, my name's Kazuma Kuwabara. Pleased to meet you. My name is Reiko, you say, introducing yourself. This is what the guys Lord Kurama told you about. He seems like a friendly guy, if a little dense. I'm just say your goodbyes. I think the cat will be safe with you now, but before I go, I should say that Lord Kurama sent me. Cora blinks at you, mouth hanging open. You're the new spirit detective? His cheeks seem to gain some color. Man, they really upgraded, huh? He says, rubbing the back of his neck, his eyes sliding down to the floor. I guess we'll be seeing each other a lot from now on, huh? I can help you anytime you need. In fact, let me give you my phone number. You say your goodbyes, he gives you his phone number, takes the cat. He seemed like a good guy, someone you can call on. With nothing else to do, you return home. Now, I did actually go and visit him a second time, and the second time he mentions Yukina, and he mentions how they are not a couple anymore, and obviously if we're supposed to like have a date with Yusuke, him and Keiko are broken up. All 4 of them are single and available. Now, I can go back twice with any of these. Hiei, you absolutely do not get anywhere. Kuwabara, you find out that him and Yukina aren't together, and some other stuff. Kurama, I don't know. I haven't gone back a second time. And then that's it. If you try to go back a third time, it will malfunction and shut down the game. That's how it's supposed to be because nothing has been written. There's nothing there. Now, Yusuke is a full demo. And this video is already pretty long. So, I think maybe I'll do Yusuke, like a full date with Yusuke, in a separate video. I'll do 2 like I did with Kurama. So, I hope you enjoyed listening to me read lines of dialogue. If you're interested in playing this game, I will have a download link in the description below. I also will have links to Lola's Tumblr, and also let's go ahead and save. Okay, let's go back to the main menu. I saved. It better be there. I swear to God. Okay. Okay. I will be putting her Tumblr on there, her Twitter. Of course, here's some contact information that is available right here on the game page, and I will be leaving a link to the Yu Yu Hakusho Revival website. On that website, you can join the Discord server, which gives you access to a lot of stuff that's all Yu Yu Hakusho. And you know, thanks for watching. If you did, I can't wait to do my full date with Yusuke, which I will be doing. So, hope to see you there. Thank you so much.